Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Kelvin here. Today, welcome back to my channel. We're going to do something a little more creative, but for today's video, we are going to do a quick painting, a quick watercolor study for my January bullet journal cover. Now, I mentioned in my previous bullet journal video that I wanted to kind of do these monthly little paintings, just little works of art that I'm gonna then put into my bullet journal, so that by the end of the year I'm gonna have a collection of 12 little paintings. And you know, my relationship with art has it's been a long one. I started to do art when I was not very young. I started to do art when I was younger, probably when I was like around 5 or 6. So I went to art class every Saturday up until grade 8, and basically from grade 8 onwards I stopped, and that's probably over 10 years that I've just stopped doing art. And it wasn't until 2018, the end of it, where I was like, why aren't I need something to become my creative outlet. And it used to be and still is my business, right? I have a clothing line and I do a lot of design for that. I do a lot of design for my main job, for my full-time job, but there wasn't something like physically tactile that I was creating, and I kind of missed that. So I was like, let's hop back into art, and I've been obsessed with all these Skillshare tutorials, because I signed up for a Skillshare trial, one of those like 1 month and you get for free, and then I forgot to cancel it, and it charged me. And it was at that point where I was just really busy, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it. And then I've been really enjoying it. I've probably been watching it nonstop, more than Netflix, more than YouTube, just because it's the perfect kind of time filler when I'm waiting for the subway, when I'm waiting in line to cash out for something. I don't feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like when you're always pushing yourself to be learning, and when you have access to great content, and when you are constantly stimulating your brain, that's something that gets me very, like, I'm using my time wisely. So in today's January cover, I painted a photo, this photo, that I took when I was in New York a couple months ago. When I was in New York, I was traveling by myself. I was having a great time, just kind of going through some like self-discovery. It was the first time I traveled by myself for work, for my own business. And I just stopped by this coffee shop that was in Bryant Park, and they had nice flowers, and I was like, I'm just gonna snap this picture. Long story short, I know it's a long intro for today, but what you're gonna see in a bit is a quick photo study, a quick watercolor study of just some flowers in a book at this coffee shop on a wooden table. Nothing, too crazy, just to get my feet back into watercolor. So if you're interested in watching a quick time lapse of me doing this watercolor study, then keep on watching. So starting with the sketch, we're just going to figure out the different values of the painting. So where are the shadows, midtones, and highlights? After I do a quick little sketch, I'm going to then put this onto paper, do a quick wash of just a yellow throughout the entire painting. I think that's just going to be a good kind of foundation for the painting, leaving out a lot of the blank white spots for where I know the flowers and the rest of the decorations are going to be. I then move on to doing the flowers, starting with the most pigment and the main focus of this painting, which are the flowers. I'm just doing a very light kind of pink to start off with, and then I'm going to add some deeper tones. And now here you'll see I'm adding some of the foliage, the green stems, as just to fill in the negative space. The fun thing about watercolor is once you drop kind of a heavier pigment, you can then just use water to kind of fade it out, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I'll drop the pigment and then use water to fade it out, to add a deeper shade, just to change up the hue in the green foliage. I realized that the tone of this is actually very similar to my reference photos' book, so I just wanted to use the same color while that I still have it and use it for the book. And the color of the vase too, it's eventually going to become a little bit more gray, but I think just adding some tonal interest and using some of that brown is a good way to kind of just lay down that foundation again, and then we can play with the hue more so later. Now this is when I'm adding a deeper tone to the shadow, fading it out a little bit with some more water and some of that texture in the wooden table. Now with the wooden table, I don't want to add too much detail in there because I don't want to take away from my main focal point, which are the flowers.
So now I'm just adding a few more of the darker hues, the shadows in the flowers to have more detail. You'll see that the main two large flower buds are the ones that I'm adding the most detail, just so that your eyes kind of draw to that part of the painting. Even for some of the lettering in that book, some of the details in the table, I'm leaving that out because, like I said, the main focus are the flowers. Now, just to add some more tonal interest and some shadows in the background, what I've learned too, and I've never thought of this before, is to make some of your highlights pop, or to make some of your focal points pop, adding it and contrasting it with another color would really help that. Sometimes against white, it doesn't show enough. Now, just some finishing touches on the shadow in the background, and I think we're pretty much done. Oh, I missed a little bit here, just adding the deepest value in the vase to make it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more tonal difference, and really trying to make some of those darker parts of the stems pop a little bit more. The main focal point is in the flower buds, and I really wanted to make sure that the amount of detail is where I want it to be placed. So here's the finished product. Like I said, this is just a quick study of some flowers, and now this is how it looks like in my bullet journal.
So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a comment, give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I make videos about fashion, fitness, productivity, and creativity. So once again, my name is Kelvin. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.